we're talking about Seneca Falls as well because Joe Tulo, who now serves as water and wastewater treatment plant operator in Seneca Falls, received the new title at last night's meeting. So he was just the wastewater treatment plant. He's now the water and wastewater treatment plant operator. Along with that, significant raise. Salary jumped from $78,000 to $93,000. Board voted 5-0 to support that one. So the argument with this is going to be that, at least from Town Councilor Doug Avery's point of view, it's going to be a savings. The previous water plant operator was making $67,000 annually. This on top of Tulo's $78,000 salary was obviously significantly higher than the net $93,000 that he now makes. The board also voted last night on a new lease agreement on the home that is currently rented by Tulo on the treatment plant property. Rent had been waived earlier in the year by Supervisor Greg Lazaro, which created a debate about the town's role in renting properties, leasing properties to employees, and whether that's part of a compensation package or whether that's just, a fringe benefit or, whatever the case may be. New lease agreement signed, approved, 4-1. That's over with. So two issues that have been pretty big in terms of, making headlines in the last couple months, now settled, at least in the short term. It's interesting. It creates another interesting dynamic here in Seneca Falls because, just talking to a lot of folks, you hear a lot of frustration with just kind of the Wild West attitude that the board shows on a pretty regular basis here. And I don't even want to exclusively blame any individual at this point because I think one of the things that's, and I want to be careful about how I say this because it could be seen as defending Supervisor Lazaro, but at the same time, I think at some point, the constant chaos and the constant just sort of passing the buck, passing things along instead of taking a stand and actually doing something about something that people are clearly upset about, you all start to share in the blame. Right. And, at some point, I think every single person on the town board right now in Seneca Falls is going to have to answer for a lot of the things that they didn't want to answer for before, like last night. They didn't want to answer for the situation that had sort of boiled up and morphed into something they couldn't really handle in the last 7 to 8 months. And, it's gone for now, but I don't think voters are going to be forgetting about it anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it does to me seem like the Wild West because if you have one of 5 elected officials granting what amounts to a significant pay raise to an employee, the use of property for free without notifying everybody, that's a serious issue. But I agree with you. Once everybody's notified what happened or what's going on, then it does become a collective responsibility for addressing that issue and getting it taken care of. So it looks like procedurally now it has been resolved. I was kind of wondering, and I don't know enough about water management, wastewater management to know if this is the right strategy or not. But I certainly hope, I understand they say it's a cost savings to consolidate the positions, but I certainly hope that they have a second or third deep that they will either bring in or already have, because look at what just happened in Seneca County with the flooding. I mean, I don't think you want to vest in a single person the ultimate responsibility for managing 2 essential, critical systems, critical to the health and safety of the community, not to mention environmental well-being. When, and I understand that this flooding was a,
an anomaly.
But it does appear as though we're having extreme weather more and more often, and it just, I just hope that they aren't just saying, oh, we've got a chance to save money by consolidating water and wastewater management into one person. Let's start trimming down our staff, because that is one of the critical functions of a municipality. Right. So that is not the place where you want to be waving the flag of great efficiency at the expense of great management. So that, and again, I trust that their organizational structure takes that into account. But when I heard about that, there are kind of a lot of issues at play. Plus, I don't understand why they would do that to an employee, having given him the free rent, because they didn't do him a favor. Because if it's not part of his compensation package, it doesn't count towards earning his retirement, and it does require them to issue a W-9 or some other compensation form at the end of the year, and he's going to have to claim that as untaxed benefit, untaxed income as part of his compensation package. So if they thought they were doing him a favor financially, I don't think they did, either in the short or long term. So it just doesn't seem like the Seneca Falls Town Board thinks about stuff before they do it, right? Like, not to bring my kids into it again, but I always tell them, think before you talk. Think before you do something. And I look at the Seneca Falls Town Board, and I think I hear a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff. I'm not sure there's a lot of evidence of prior thought or analysis.
And this was something that was debated and discussed before. This wasn't something that just came up out of the blue at last night's meeting. This was discussed at last month's meeting. It had been subject of public comment before that. I mean, this has been boiling at the surface for some time now. Right. It just kind of seems like the town has, like many of the other things that have been presented to them in recent months and even just the last few years, seems to be fumbled more times than not.
Yeah.